Davinci Resolve 17 has just come out. Let's get into the edit tab. I was very excited to see that Davinci Resolve announced 17. It was kind of out of the blue. I don't remember seeing any announcements about like expected release dates. Massive fan of Davinci Resolve. I switched over when 16 came out. They did a big marketing push. I think it was like a year or two ago, and absolutely fell in love with it. For me, it is the best editing program out there. By far, it is without any shadow of a doubt, the best color grading program out there. But I think with their updates to 16, they have really made a program that's so amazing. And now with the new 17, which is in the public beta, you can download now for free via the link below. With 17, they've improved that even more. One of the tabs we're going to be spending the most amount of time in, guys, will be the edit tab. So let's get into it and look at those new features. Upon opening up the edit tab, guys, you can see a few differences going on, and most of the changes here are basically better quality of life. They're creating a little bit more integration between Fusion and the edit tab, which for some people, if you're like me, if you use Fusion a lot for your transitions, really awesome, and just sort of smoothing out your editing process. For me, I'm all about this. The smoother the editing process can be, the better, as far as I'm concerned, because less time editing means more time producing. And if I can get effects and improvements to my editing without actually spending more time on it, I'm more than happy with that. Probably one of the first things you're gonna notice, guys, when you jump in is your effects tab has changed a little bit. First of all, if you use 16, you used to have these tiny little icons or just the names of the effects and not much else, whereas now you've got this really cool hover over effect. So it doesn't matter if you're looking at a title or if you're looking at a transition or whatever it is, you can hover over the effect and slide the cursor left to right to see how that effect or title is going to play out. I think this is a really cool feature, because quite often in 16 what you'd have to do is grab the effect, drag it onto the timeline, wait for it to render if it was a fusion effect, and then see if you liked it or not. If not, you dump it, and you know, that's 15-30 seconds wasted, and you add them up over the course of an edit, and that's like time wasted as far as I'm concerned. Now you can just slide your cursor over those transitions, over those titles, and just see how they're going to look on the current timeline that you're using, which is absolutely awesome. Speaking of titles, they've added a bunch of new Fusion generated titles into the title tab on the edit page, which means you're going to have high integration. Yes, it is going to be a little bit more intense on your PC, so if you're struggling with 16, maybe this isn't something you'd want. But on the whole, this is an amazing update. They are professional, they are clean looking. In their live stream, Blackmagic specifically said that they wanted this to look like professional high-end editing, not just a set and forget sort of editing where you're just trying to pump out something as soon as possible. They want all their effects to be efficient, but also effective in sort of communicating a strong brand and making sure that things look really nice. Like, it's all good to be quick, but if your product ends up looking like shit, then it's probably not worth it in the end. So really amazing to see some of the titles. I'll float some around here for you. So really amazing to see some of these new titles popping up and all these extra effects. If you come down into your generators, you're gonna see there's a lot more. You've got some 10-stop variants, you've got some color grading variants. I don't particularly use these too much, but they have been used quite a bit by other people. They do help some people with color grading, so it's really up to you if you want to do that. And the biggest thing that I was really excited about in the edit tab for these effects section is the fact that Fusion elements are featuring much more heavily. I think they've upped the ante linking between Fusion and the edit tab, so I'm super excited to see that. I'm really happy with what they've done. You'll notice that there's a lot more effects in there and they look way better than last time. Scroll down this tab, you can see that all the transitions from the Fusion ones have been updated. These are standard star wipes and stuff like that probably no one's ever going to go near. But there are these really cool new Fusion effects. There's some glitch effects, glitch transitions. And what I really love is that they're actually fairly editable in the edit tab as well. If you wander over to the right hand side to the effects page, on your clip, you can see that you can actually create quite a bit of variation, customize these super easily. Typically with 16, you'd have to create these transitions themselves with a Fusion clip and then add them over the title, and it took a lot more work to try and get these effects. If you really just want to get high quality effects pasted on there really quick, this is absolutely amazing for you. Quality of life thing that I probably should have mentioned with the titles is that they have got instant text display. Now, if you use Davinci Resolve 16, you'd know that you'd have to select a text, and not just by hovering over it, you'd select the text, look at it, select the text, wait for it to render, and then you'd have to see if you like that text in the title or in the credits, however you're using it, and if not, you'd have to go select another text and see how it goes. Now in that title, you can just hover over the text you'd like to see, and you're going to see that instantly pop up. I think that's amazing. It was like not a deal breaker for me, obviously, because I still use Davinci, But for me, it was quite frustrating that if I didn't like the text or if it didn't feel it suited, it was annoying to sort of scrub through and play a guessing game if I was trying to find a text and I hadn't decided upon a text before actually going into this edit. So that is a massive quality of life change. The other things you might notice is on the right hand side where you used to see your effects and transform and all that has changed a little bit. I think it's a little bit user friendly now. So when you're up on the clip or file segment in the top right hand side, you can see that you've got your video, audio, image, effects. I think this is really nice and concise and it makes a lot of sense, and I really like how they've cleaned up the UI. It's making a lot more sense to look at than it did before. I wouldn't say Davinci Resolve was at all difficult to get into, but it was something that I found that Premiere Pro did have when I drifted over. It was a little bit more clearly laid out, and whereas this makes it a lot more user friendly. And I really, really love the layout. It's really cool. It's nice to see where every single thing is directly it's nice to see where everything directly is, so I know where the audio is, I know where the video is, and things have just moved around a little bit to make a little bit more sense. And I like the fact that they've got a full reset button up the top. I'm not sure if that was in 16, but I just noticed it when I was editing before, so absolutely fantastic. On the whole, the edit tab has improved a whole lot. All these features, I believe, except for the fusion transitions, you can get in the studio, in the basic version of Davinci Resolve. If you are thinking about getting the studio version, I'd highly recommend it, guys. One of the biggest benefit is it is a lifetime license. So every single release they have of Davinci Resolve 17, 18, 19, whatever it is, and all the updates in between, you get if you buy that license. It's a perpetual license, so you get it for your life, or until I guess they decide to change it or release a new product to get around that, or whatever they might do. But I think that's absolutely fantastic. If you're on the subscription model for Adobe, you know that money racks up pretty quick and have to pay one-off payment. I think it's $299 US, or for me it was like 450 bucks. Amazing to be using a program that keeps on adding features and adding value to its consumers. It's really awesome, and you guys should definitely jump on and try it. Be a video coming soon, guys, about the color page and all the changes to that. That one's probably much bigger, much more interesting, and we'll dive into that. But thank you so much for joining me, guys. I appreciate it. Appreciate your time. I'll catch you in the next one. Cheers.